What up, YouTube? It's your short Hooper Cassi Jerkins wishing you all a happy WNBA Draft Day. That's right, today was the draft, and ooh, are we all excited for all the picks and everybody getting all dressed up and looking really cool and super hot. This is what the WNBA is all about. It's about balling and it's about looking good. Looking however the way you want to present. We are here for it. It's awesome. So the most fun, exciting thing about the WNBA draft is it comes right, like almost on top of the NCAA Women's Championship game. That's right. March Madness, baby. It was wild. Were you watching? I was watching. This year in particular, I tried to really lock in and be like, all right, I'm going to know what's going on in college ball. I made a bracket with some friends. And yeah, it was super fun to sit down and watch as many games as possible. So much basketball. But I'll tell you one thing. I, in my bracket, said UConn was going to win. I could just feel it. I wanted Paige to get that championship going into the W. Plus, that team in general is super well-rounded with Fudd and Sarah Strong. And, of course, you got Coach Gino. It just felt right, and all the pieces were working together great, and bam, UConn won. Yeah. And it made for a great storyline, but there were some games that were like blowouts, and that, wasn't as exciting. But I digress. Next year, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully some teams come back with a little more bite and are angry and want revenge, and that will just make some more fun basketball. But now we're talking about the WNBA draft because on May 16th, we're back into the WNBA season. There's a lot of exciting things happening, like the Valkyries and, of course, these new players coming into the W. We got to start with our number one pick. This was no surprise at all. Paige Bueckers ended up going to the Dallas Wings. Iriafen was shouting Paige out left and right as soon as they knew they got the number one pick from the lottery. And no surprise, there she is, and we're very excited. Not to mention, the Wings are going to be a super fun team to watch this year with Paige, Iriafen, but also the additions of Dejanay Carrington, Ty Harris, and Nalissa Smith. And if you don't know, Dejanay and Nalissa are dating, which just, adds to making the WNBA that much sweeter to watch. All right, number two pick, right away, boom, international player. This is where projections get thrown off a little bit. Some people are in the know of these international players, and then, we just don't know where they're going to fall in. And the Storm went French. That's right. They took Dominique Belanga, which is super fun because, as we know, Gabby Williams is on the Storm. So we got a lot of French connection happening, which is always fun. And this is a team that, we'll keep an eye out for. You got NECA, you got Skylar. Jewel Lloyd did leave, went over to the Aces. Lexi Brown is now on the Storm. I'm a Lexi fan, hoping that her health will allow her to play some great basketball. This will be a team I'm definitely going to keep an eye on. But I just think the competition level of the W is so high that we'll see where they fall. But I don't know. So we'll see if Dominique helps them out. And then number three, this was a player people were talking about for a while, Sonia Citron, and she's going to the Mystics. The Mystics is a big question mark right now. They have given up a lot of pieces. Elena Deladon officially announced retirement, but we knew she didn't play last year. She wasn't happy with the Mystics, so I was kind of hoping she would go somewhere else and play some ball, but she's done, and we will miss her. She's a great baller. I'm happy I got to see her play in person. So the Mystics also had a big trade this morning. They traded Carly Samuelson to the Lynx, and the Lynx gave up their first round pick next year for the Mystics. So the Mystics are very much like, we are rebuilding. They aren't even really pretending that they're not rebuilding into 2026, which is crazy. It kind of bums me out because there's some great players there. We got Shakira Austin, Brittany Sykes, one of my personal faves, and then Aaliyah Edwards, who had a great unrivaled season, went up head-to-head with Fee in the 1v1 tournament. So there are great pieces happening. It's just the franchise is rebuilding. Of all the WNBA teams in the first round pick, they took 3 players. So they're definitely looking to foster new talent, and we'll see where it gets them. Hoping to see some good ball. But yes, Sonia is going to the Mystics. She's a solid player. Rebecca Lobo was comparing her to Beck Allen. So, someone who can, great defender, shoots threes, create space. So it'll be fun to see her on the Mystics. If you're a rookie getting drafted into the WNBA, ideally you want to be on a team where you're going to get a lot of minutes, and you're going to get a lot of minutes on the Mystics. You're probably going to get a lot of minutes on the Sun. So congrats. And number 4, we have another player going to the Mystics. It's Kiki Iriafen. Kiki was very fun to watch in March Madness. She played with USC, she played with Juju Watkins, and Juju unfortunately tore her ACL during March Madness and had to miss the rest of the games. And Kiki kind of stepped in for that leadership role. It was really cool to see her pointing out plays and making things happen. It just, was very unfortunate. And, March Madness is as competitive as it gets. And, didn't work out so good. But Kiki is going to the Mystics. I like this. I think she's going to fit in really well with the Mystics. And I think she's going to get a lot of minutes. So let's go. All right, Valkyries with the number 5 pick. So this is my first time watching the W where a new team is coming in. So I was kind of expecting the Valkyries would get, I don't know, a top 3 pick or 2 picks in the first round. They're really trying to build a team. They don't have a lot of money, but apparently they get the number 5 pick. So it is what it is. And they threw a curveball. It was who are they going to pick? Are they going to get Georgia Amora, Anissa Morrow? Who are they going to pick? They went international. They went with a Lithuania player, Juste Jocite. And I haven't watched Juste play, but reading about her career, I'm intrigued. Someone who played on the Lithuania team at the age of 13. What? Give me that highlight reel. I want to see a 13-year-old player balling out. And then at 14, she was the youngest EuroLeague player. That's awesome. She's 19 now, so she's ready to ball, and I'm intrigued. I kind of feel like Valkyries, it's you want to pick maybe a college player that's famous and get that buzz going. Who knows? Throw in a Hailey Van Lith, even though she's was projected to be a higher drafted player, but just a name to kind of help build it. But already San Francisco, Golden State is so excited for a WNBA team. They're wearing the merch. They sold out for season ticket holders. They're ready to enjoy some basketball. So I guess that's not really a factor. It's more of let's build a great team. And I like this pick. I'm very intrigued, and I can't wait to see the Valkyries play. Number 6, the Mystics are back. They're taking another player. This is their 3rd and final player of the first round pick, and they went with Georgia Amore. Love this pick. A short hooper at 5'6", also Australian. I don't know. I feel like we're getting speed. We're getting someone that can keep up with Brittany Sykes. Let's go. Also love that Russell Westbrook dressed her with his clothing line, Honor the Gift. Very cool. Love Russ. Was so sad that he's got moved to the Nuggets when he was a Clipper, and that was so fun to have him as a Clipper. But I'm a forever fan, and seeing Russ show up for the W, and he was at the draft, I'm here for it. All right, number 7. Now Connecticut Sun is entering the picture. This is another team where we're all like, what is happening? I made a video about it, about how Stephanie White left, and then the starting 5 all disbanded, and Natasha Cloud was on the Sun for a hot second, but now is on the Liberty, and now Mabry is just there what's going on? I mean, they've added pieces like Tina Charles and stuff, but this stuff definitely feels like a rebuilding team. Rumor, are they trying to go to Boston? We'll see. But they did get 2 picks in the first round, and they went with Anissa Morrow and Sonia Rivers. Yeah, these are great players, and they will probably get good minutes. And shout out to Anissa Morrow having her grandma there at the draft, and her grandma played basketball, so that just warmed my heart. I'm always there for grandmas. Also there for parents crying. A lot of dads crying today. That's super cool. Love to see a proud dad and love to see proud moms. So throw in a grandma. I'm happy. I'm enjoying the draft day. Let's go. Finally, number 9, we got the LA Sparks. Now, the LA Sparks did have the number 2 pick when the lottery happened. I think they were hoping for Paige. They didn't get Paige. They didn't get the number 1 pick. So they gave up the number 2 in this big trade swap. They gave the 2 pick to Storm. Lloyd went to the Aces, and boom, Kelsey Plum came to the Sparks. So, with that being said, looking at the Sparks pieces, we got some good bigs. Cameron should be healthy by June. But of course we have Azare, and then we got Hamby, we got Plum, we got Rakia, we got some good pieces, great at cutting. Kelsey playing point is what she said she wants to do. So the piece I feel like we're missing is we're missing a 3-point shooter, someone that it can be in the wing, ready to sink a 3. And that's what they did. They scooped up Sarah Ashley Barker from Alabama, who is a 3-point shooter, who is ready to play that wing. So, I'm curious to see if she gets a lot of minutes, maybe that'll change when Brink comes back in. But cool to see them, making a strategic move. I think the Sparks are going to do much better than we've seen the last few years. So I'm ready to see some great basketball, and I hope we're getting there. It's just scary when you look at some of the other competition out there. Mainly just want to know, some of the best teams have not got a first round draft. Lynx, nope. Liberty, nope. Aces did have the 10th pick, but they lost that pick. That pick was rescinded because they violated the WNBA rules. If you know, there's a little bit of drama between Becky Hammon and Dearica Hamby, who is now on the Sparks, was on the Aces, but kind of got kicked out. It's a lot. It's a lawsuit. It's worthy just to have its own video. But yes, impermissible player benefits were discovered to be happening on the Aces. So they lost their first round pick, and that went to the Sky. The Sky then had the number 10 pick and the number 11 pick. So, number 10, we went international again. We got a Slovenia player, Asha Svitka, and she was the 2023 FIBA U18 Championship MVP. So, wow. It's very interesting with these international players. They are very, very good. And but some people are like, oh, it's interesting that they're part of the draft as opposed to just getting signed, which sometimes just happens. But it is interesting. It definitely gets them on my radar. If I had lots and lots of time, I would love to watch more international basketball. I mean, I watch a lot of Japanese basketball, so sometimes watching the FIBA series, I do see these players, but it's cool to, be like, oh, I think the W is going to pick them up. But we'll see. And there are international players already just in training camp right now, so I'd be really curious to know why some get drafted, some go to training camp, some just get signed later. I don't know. But it gets us talking, and that's something. Number 11, the pick everyone was kind of waiting. I know some people were hoping she would go to the Sparks. It just felt like a good pick. But then again, there's some point guard tension drama happening at the Sparks. Who's going to play point? And, just throwing in another player that wants to play point maybe isn't the best idea. So the Sky picked up Hailey Van Lith. Hailey is great. Hailey went to the Olympics for the 3-on-3. She played for TCU, took them into the Elite Eight, which hasn't happened for TCU. So, big things. Very interesting, though, to see the TCU organization kind of recruit so many players to then get them to become potentially championship worthy, and they still want to be champions. So I think we'll see a lot of this happening with TCU for a while. But still, it's great basketball. It's fun to watch. It's just interesting when you think about like young college players moving around so much and transferring and getting recruited and not just staying on the same team for 4 years. But that's basketball money for you, I guess. But yeah, Hailey Van Lith is going to the Chicago Sky, which is fun because she did play with Angel Reese at LSU before she transferred to TCU. She left LSU because she wanted to play point, and she got to do that at TCU. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. We have Vandersloot going back to the Sky, so that might be a great mentor for someone who wants to be a point guard in the WNBA. And just got to say it, she looked great at the WNBA Draft. It's cool to see people get all dressed up and, play ball, look good, have a good life. And then last but not least, for the first round pick, we have number 12, Zaya James, going to the Wings. So number 1 pick Wings, number 12 pick Wings. Boom, we got our first round pick. Great to see her get drafted. She's a great player. First 12 picks look great. I'm intrigued by the international players, the people that went to where they went. The moves are making sense. It'll be fun to see them integrated into the W. Oh, I just got to give a shout out to Tahina Pau, who is going to the Dream. She was in Oceanside when she got drafted. I was born in Oceanside, so love that connection. But yeah, she was a great player. She was a huge piece for South Carolina. Unfortunately, UConn beat them in the championships, but it's cool to see her go to the Dream. I'm very excited for the Dream team, so it'll be great to see her play with those players. And yeah, she deserves a spot, so it's good to see her in there. Yeah, this was an exciting draft day. Obviously last year was the Caitlin Clark, Cameron Brink, Cardosa, Rickea Jackson. We can go on and on, but a lot of huge players came in that feel like they've been playing on the W for a few years. Bam, they're starters, they're in it. So it'll be interesting to see how these players shake out, but I think we are going to see the same thing. And I just think the next few years we have some great players that are going to be coming to the W. Next year's draft is going to be just exciting. We have AZ Fudd and Lauren Betts coming in. The year after will be the year of Juju Watkins, which Bam will be as big, if not bigger, than Caitlin Clark. And then Sarah Strong, who is the freshman for UConn that is having an amazing career as a freshman. So a lot of exciting things are happening, more to come, but we're in it, baby. We got our draft, and May 16th, the W starts. I can't wait. Can you wait? No? Can't wait? Excited? Hell yeah. Bye.